In this video, I'm going to talk to you about using several tools that work together to allow teachers to be productive and use some of the resources that are already available. First, we're going to talk about using PDF files to assign activities to students. PDF files can be obtained through a variety of online sources, such as Teacher and curriculum publishers. Educators often share and use PDF files because they preserve document formatting. They do this by limiting editing and altering of the original document. PDFs can also be compatible with a variety of platforms so that they can be used on a wide range of devices. They are available from both free and paid educational resource sites. Kami is an online document annotation and markup tool. With this tool, you can highlight, underline, and strike through text in PDFs as well as other document formats. Now let's talk about how Kami works in Angleton ISD. The Kami extension is already added to your district Google account. If you want to use Kami on a personal account, you will need to download the extension from the Chrome Web Store. Once you have opened a .pdf file in your browser, click on the Open with Kami button in the top right corner of the screen. Try out the annotation tools located in the dock on the left side of the screen. Your students will have access to these same tools. Now click on the three-line menu in the top right corner of the screen and look at these options. You have the option to split and merge a document, create a Google Classroom assignment, or even rotate the PDF clockwise. Now click on your initials or the profile picture and look for the settings options. Make sure you have the option to automatically upload opened files to Google Drive selected. Now let's see how this works. To get started working in Kami, you'll first need a PDF document. I found this science worksheet online that I want to use in a class, but I can't change anything or edit anything. I need to highlight some sections that I want students to make sure they see, and then I want to point out the sections that the students need to work on and complete their assignment. So once I have the PDF opened in my browser, I will see an Open with Kami button either in the top right corner where it is here, or in the center right above where the PDF is. If you don't see it there, you'll often see an Open With button at the top center, and then you can click Open With and then choose Kami. Once I select Open with Kami, the document will begin to load in my Kami account. Now this means that I've already set up my Kami account and I have set it to download any PDF that I open in Kami into my Google Drive, or rather upload it into my Google Drive so that it will be available on any device I'm using. Alright, so now my document has been uploaded into my Google Drive and it's been opened with Kami. Next, I'm going to want to highlight some sections of this PDF to point them out to students. So I'll click over here on the markup tool, and from here I'm going to choose the text highlighter. Next, I'm going to choose the color. I think I want to go with green today. So I'm going to choose that, and then I'm going to highlight some sections of text here, and you'll see that they are highlighted. I may want to highlight another section in a different color. I can highlight those, and that section of text will be highlighted in yellow. Next, I can scroll down. I can point out some sections that the student needs to work on, or the students need to work on. So to do that, I may want to put a comment or a text box. I'm going to go ahead and put a text box here, and I'm going to put it right here. Once you put your text box there, then you can type your text that you would like the students to be able to read. So I'm just going to say, make sure you do this problem. When I click somewhere else, that text is still there. If I change my mind, I can hover back over here and click on the X right here, and that will get rid of that. I can put it somewhere else. If I want to put a shape, I can click on Shapes, and then choose a shape and then click and drag to add that shape into the PDF. So that's how I can open a PDF and edit a few things in it. The next thing I want to do is I want to actually send this PDF to my students. So that's what we'll do next. Another way to create a Google Classroom assignment using Kami is to use the Kami website. To get to the Kami website, you can either find the blue circle with a white K, or you can type kamiapp.com into your URL or Omnibox. So once you do that, you'll see this website right here with these options listed behind me. Open from Google Drive, open from computer, create classroom assignment, or new blank page. You'll also see your recent files opened below or listed below. Those are things that you've opened and are already loaded into your Kami account. All right, so now I'm going to create an assignment. So I'll click on the Create Google Classroom Assignment. When I click on this button, it will have some of the default settings for a Kami assignment, but I'll need to select the class that I'm going to assign it to. I'm going to assign it to Davenport Test Class. And next, I'll need to put a title for this. Test Assignment. And I would normally put some instructions here, but I'll leave that blank for today. I'll need to pick a due date tomorrow and a topic. I'm going to call it Kami Assignments, but I'm not ready to assign it yet because I haven't actually attached a document. So I'm going to go to my Google Drive by clicking on the Google Drive icon in the bottom left-hand corner of the screen. Once I click on this, you'll see this pop up, and it may ask you to authorize Google to, or authorize Kami to access your Google account. Just click on your email address and then scroll down to the bottom and click on the blue Allow button. Once you do that, your browser will allow you, or your file browser will allow you to search for a document in your Google Drive. Now, if you may want to sort your drive by the name of the folders, and then you can find the one that's called Kami Uploads. This would be if you've uploaded something through Kami. Now, if you've scanned a PDF or a file on the copy machine and emailed it to yourself, you may have stored it in another folder. Or if you have PDF documents from a publisher, curriculum publisher or teacher paid teacher, you may have those somewhere else. You can get PDFs from anywhere and attach them to this Google Classroom assignment. Then students can use Kami to complete the assignment. All right, so now I've got my PDFs here. I'm going to choose this one right here. It's just 2-digit multiplication. I'm going to select that, and then I'm going to see that it's already added here to the assignment, and the default for a Kami assignment is make a copy for each student. That's what's recommended. All right, so now I've also checked the box for send Kami instructions to students and add links to open with Kami. Next, I'm going to click Assign. Once I click Assign, Google Drive and Google Classroom will make copies of the assignment for every student, and they'll post it in my Google Classroom. Now I'm going to click on Open in Classroom to see what this assignment will look like. Now this is my test classroom. We're going to see if it put it in the right folder or the right topic. And there's the test assignment right here. I can see this is the worksheet here, and here are the two. There's a link to the instructions for Kami and a Google document with instructions for students to use with Kami. So let me show you what one of those will look like. This is the step-by-step instructions for students. They can see exactly how to use Kami, and they'll also have the option to select this step-by-step tutorial video from Kami, and it's titled Home Learning with Kami and Google Classroom. So it should be very beneficial if they get stuck. All right, so now let's go back to our test assignment. I can go back to my classroom here and see that in classwork, I have Kami assignments, and I have this test assignment that I just posted. There it is right there in the right category, the right topic with the right due date and everything there. All right, now I'm going to keep going and talk to you about a third way that you can make a Kami assignment. If you're in Google Classroom and you want to create a Kami assignment for your students, you will simply click on Create Plus or Plus Create. Then go down to Kami Assignment, click on Kami Assignment, and it will take you to the default settings for a Kami assignment. Very similar to when we went through the website. You'll see that there is no file attached here, so I'll need to go and get an attachment. So this is called Test Assignment 2. I'm going to go back into my drive, and because I'm already logged in, it's not asking me to post anything, click on anything there. All right, now I'm going to go to my Kami Uploads folder, and I'll see some other files that I've uploaded there. All right, so now my PDFs have loaded from my Google Drive. So I'm going to select a reading passage here, and I'm going to call this Sample Reading Passage. And I've already got the attachment here. This is important. If you ever see this not say make a copy for each student, then that's something you've accidentally changed and you need to change it back. You cannot change this after an assignment has been posted. If you have a problem with an assignment and you see that that is not selected, you'll need to delete the assignment and post a new one using the same attachments. All right, so now I'm ready to assign this one again. I'm going to go ahead and click Assign, and we'll be able to see that this method of posting a classroom assignment works just as well as the first two. So the assignment has been created. I can click on Open in Classroom, but I've actually already got it right here in front of me. So, all right, that's how you can post assignments. 3 different ways to post assignments in Google Classroom that students can use Kami to complete. All right, next we're going to look and see what it looks like for a student to complete an assignment using Kami. So now let's look and see what a student will see if they have a Kami assignment. When they open their Google Classroom, they'll first see the stream or the class announcements and things. To find the assignments, they need to click on the Classwork tab at the top in the middle. Then they can scroll down and see these are posted under the Kami assignments for me, but you can put them in whatever topic would be most appropriate for the assignment. So now let's see, I'm going to go to this sample reading passage, and I can see that I have Demo Student Kami PDF. I'm going to skip the instructions for now, see if I can remember how to use Kami. So now when I have this PDF open, you'll see that I cannot type in here, I cannot do any kind of annotations, but up at the very top there's this little button that says Open With. I can click on Open With and then Annotate with Kami. Once I do that, it's going to open up the assignment in my Kami account. Next, I'm going to need to log in or authorize the Google Drive to access this. And then once that's done, you'll see the assignment, the PDF loaded in my Kami account. So from here, I can click on the drawing button, and then I can select a color. I'm going to go with blue, and then I can circle. I can say, oh, that's not really thick enough. I'm going to go up to maybe a 12 thickness and say, this is the part I want to circle. I can scroll down in this Kami assignment, and it keeps my annotations where they were. Then I can see, okay, here's a place where I need to answer something. I'm going to click here, and I will type my answer in here. Then up here was a multiple choice one. I need to circle or highlight my choice. So I'm going to go back to the drawing tool, and I will select my choice there. Now that's probably a little too thick for that one, so I would need to make that get a little bit smaller and select just one letter like that. So this is how students can annotate and write their answers in a PDF that you shared or assigned through Google Classroom. Now, once they've done that, there are a couple of things that they need to do. They need to click on the Turn In button in the top right corner of the screen. Inside of Kami, there's a Turn In button right there. When they click Turn In, then it should turn in their file. So then of course in Google Classroom we always have to click in turn in at least twice. So there's another turn in button from here. Then it says saving to Google Drive. I need to wait for it to actually save to Google Drive and to turn it in. I can't just click turn in and close my Chromebook or turn it off right away. If I've done that, then all of my changes will not be saved in my Google Drive. Now I can look down here and see Kami Cloud Sync, all changes have been saved. Google Drive, if I want to create my own copy or if I need to have a backup, I can do that as well right here. All right, if a student needs to download a Kami file and then add it to another assignment, they'll need to click on download and then download with annotations to their Google Drive. Flatten the annotations. That just makes it where they're not a separate layer, but they are all one layer. And then click on begin export. This is sometimes necessary if you did not send it into Google Classroom with the option to make a copy for every student. If you left it as a view only, they may need to do this. Then they can copy this to their drive. It'll save it in their drive, and then they can go into Google Classroom and upload that or add. Click the add or create button to add that. All right, so that's Google Classroom from the student perspective. Now I'm going to show you what it looks like to grade a Kami assignment from Google Classroom. So I'm back in my teacher account over here, and I'm going on the classwork page down to sample reading passage. I'm going to click on sample reading passage and see that one student has turned in the work. That's the sample I just showed you. So I'm going to click on that number 1 right there. It's going to show me demo student has turned in their work. It shows me a thumbnail of the PDF and it says that they have turned it in. So I'm going to click on that, and it's going to open this up in the Google Classroom grading screen. Now from here, I can see the annotations right here, and I can see the annotations right here. I can then put a grade in. Let's say, oh, you got 100, because that was awesome. Really, it was terrible, but it's just a sample. I can put in my private comments there. Now, if I need to mark on this and send it back to the student, or if I'm having trouble seeing the annotations, sometimes it will be necessary to click on the box by grade with Kami. I don't usually leave that selected because it does take longer for the PDF to load, and if you're grading a couple hundred of these assignments, you want as much speed as you can. So but if you have a student whose work is not showing up complete, but you're pretty sure they did it, or you think they might have done it, you can click on grade with Kami. When you do that, it will reload the page and your Kami account will be in the middle of the grading screen. So then you'll have the options to mark on it, to put comments, text boxes, whatever kind of things you want to do there. So I wouldn't really recommend doing those. I think this is just an important tool to use if you need to see their work and for some reason they turned off their computer too fast or didn't allow it to sync up and load. Maybe Google or Kami was having a little bit of a tough time syncing up. Once you do that, you can see their work again. You have all of your tools on the left-hand side. You can still leave a comment. I would really recommend using the private comments here instead of putting a comment on the Kami. It just seems to save it a little bit better. All right, so that's grading an assignment through Kami or through Google Classroom and Kami.